Okay. Greg didn't say anything, but we'll get this started. Hello, everyone.
Yeah,
Welcome to episode one of the Luminance Comics Cast. Uh, I'm Owen, and I guess we'll introduce ourselves. I'm mostly a Green Lantern fan, uh, and Noah is the other one, if he wants to introduce himself.
yeah. Here, let me chime in. Hi, I'm Noah. I'm more of a Superman fan myself.
Yeah,
I think we should have probably thought better with
no,
the
it's
the
perfect. I
intros.
listen to plenty of podcasts, and they don't have plans. They just kind of wing it. But they do
All
say
right,
the episode number. So this is episode one.
they do. Yeah. So we're on track
Yeah,
already.
we're doing
We're
pretty
already
good.
on.
Um,
We're already on pace.
this is a little introduction of ourselves. I'm personally doing this because I feel like Noah and I are younger, and I don't think there's many voices out there for people of the age
Yeah,
of 20.
we are in our
Yeah. And
20s.
we're both
We
dudes
are in our
that
20s.
really just want comics to succeed and love superheroes, like any superhero media. Um, I want it to be good. So yeah, there will be a lot of positivity in this podcast because we're both
Hopefully,
very
sometimes.
positive people. But there's definitely going to be positivity in this episode because talk about the new James Gunn film Superman, the first real film in this universe from Gunn, and
Yes, sir.
I we have a lot to talk about. I guess first we'll just give our ratings. If you want to give your rating first, go ahead.
Yeah. Unsurprisingly, as a big Superman fan and a big James Gunn enjoyer, I gave the movie a 9 to a 9.5 out of 10. It is quite amazing, I will say,
Yeah,
and I'll get into that in a little bit.
yeah, no, I mean, I have to agree with that. I think it was a 9 out of 10 film. It's everything I was hoping for in it. And I've never seen a film as marketed as this. Like the marketing is crazy, and I know it's because James Gunn's whole
Yeah,
career was riding on this movie, so he really had to try to get it out there. But like the music, there's literally playlists of music that they would listen to. All the
mm.
toys, all the marketing. It's Superman is all over the place right now. Uh,
yeah. I knew that I knew this version of Superman would be awesome when I heard that Clark Kent canonically listens to Dear Maria.
no, his his thing
Like,
was
and
funny.
the middle, like,
Yeah, the middle. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was
that's
funny. Like
those are amazing.
Guy Gardner listens to Lizzo and just and then Ultraman is like
Mm.
death metal with like baby
Yeah,
metal and Power Wolf, and
yeah,
it's just funny. It's like the exact opposite of Superman. But
yeah, and that's also funny because, spoilers, by the
yeah,
way,
we will talk
but,
about spoilers.
I was kinda yeah, yeah, on, like, the music thing, I was kinda hoping that, like, for that, like, specific, like, Spotify playlist, I kinda wished it was the same bands, but different songs.
Yeah.
Like, I know because he's Superman, literally.
Hmm.
uh, Ultraman being like a genetic clone of Superman. I kind of wished it was like that, but that's just like a small little thing. It's a Spotify playlist, so that doesn't really count towards the movie.
Yeah,
That's just a little note
would have been a
that I
cool
had.
detail for sure. As Noah said, there will be spoilers. I'm not gonna try to keep this spoiler free. I think for what
Yeah,
we're trying to do tonight.
yeah. When this comes out, when
Yeah.
this comes out, probably it'll be a while. Like we're
Oh, for
recording this
sure.
like the July 13th, so
Yeah.
like it'll probably come out in like I don't know.
Some in a few weeks. I gotta look through it
Yeah, yeah, in a
again.
few weeks probably.
Um, but yeah, let's just get to the beginning of the movie here. Um,
Yeah.
so what did you think of that Star Wars like sequence? I personally loved it. especially trying to
Oh,
establish,
the intro card.
yeah, the like 3 years ago he became Superman, and I think it just
Yeah,
establishes such a cool world, especially because I was talking with you about
yeah,
this earlier. Metahumans have been known for a while, and they're a normal thing. You
yeah.
especially see that in creature commands. It's an everyday normal thing, especially. Um, by
Right.
the way, another point that I would love to make is James Gunn does a fantastic job of tying in his projects without making it like some crazy takeover from a character. Um,
Yeah.
you can tell it's all set
There's
in
like
the
small little
universe.
moments.
Yeah, no, and I really think that's cool. Um,
Yeah,
but
I loved the little Peacemaker cameo, like in that one news
yeah,
clipping.
no,
In like,
it made me laugh, and it was so Peacemaker. But
I was like the only one who like got that. I like laughed in that audience, being like, "Oh my god, it's
yeah,
Peacemaker!" And
my
my dad like
my
looked at me and be like,
audience,
"Who?"
my audience loved the movie. I could just tell. My audience caught a lot of things. But I went to the early access prime screening, so it's all the big nerds that were like very
Yeah,
excited.
yeah, yeah. You said like people like came in like
Yeah, there
suits.
were
How was
people in
that?
suits.
I was a
Um,
casual. I'm a filthy casual,
yeah,
so
and
I had to go to the movie.
so I went to the early prime screening because I was working the entire first few days it was out. So I was like, well, it's gonna get spoiled for me because I am chronically on the internet. So I knew that
Mhm.
eventually it would get spoiled. So I went for the I literally got my free subscription to Prime, which I have to cancel. This reminds me. Um, to go see the movie early with my Prime subscription. And it was worth seeing early. I was in a crowded theater. The energy was great. It was actually like I also saw like the number one successful movie of the year, Minecraft. Uh,
Mhm.
Superman had a very respectful crowd. Like it was a crowd that you know was quiet for the most
I like
part,
generally wanted to
reacted
see the
at the
movie.
parts they were supposed to react to. Minecraft was a battlefield. I'm not sure if you saw Minecraft in theaters, but yeah,
I still have yet to see the movie. It's on Max,
I'm telling you,
but
Minecraft in theaters when it was out was like a war zone. Uh,
I
so
bet, yeah. People were like throwing their popcorn on the
but it was
wall and like
nice
screaming chicken jockey.
because for me, chicken jockey. For me, I I had never seen a actual like big opening of a superhero movie. As movie wise, I was late for superheroes. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't start actually watching superhero movies that much until like 3 or 4 years ago. Um, which is crazy for how much I like superheroes. But I didn't actually watch anything. I was kind of like I don't want to say a bandwagon, I wasn't fully in the train until recently. When I binged the entire
Yeah,
MCU in chronological order, and that has its ups and downs. I'll give you that. We're talking about
definitely.
DC. This is about Superman. But it was cool to see what
Yeah.
I don't know if Infinity War and Endgame were even crazier in theaters, but for me, this was my Infinity War experience. Uh, and people loved it in theater. People were laughing. There were people in full Superman outfits, like in the cloth, as Guy Gardner would say. There were people like in suits, like dressed up as Clark Kent. It was cool to see, for sure. So I don't know what your theater experience was like. But
Yeah, they were like yeah, it wasn't like that. There was like some kid who like showed up in a cape and that was about it. But yeah, my theater experience, it was okay. Uh, where there was like that one scene where like Luther went to the pocket dimension and you saw like that Martian who like carried both him and Superman on that like ship kinda, like pushing it forward.
Mr. Handsome,
When yeah, Mr.
yeah,
Handsome.
yeah,
Um when when he appeared, there was like some guy who was like right above me who was like, ugh. And like that was funny.
no, Mr. Handsome is
It's like
funny.
everyone else did like a quiet thing. He was like, oh my
Oh
god.
my god,
Like
yeah. I remember watching all the theory videos and people thinking like he would be an important character, but in reality, all he did in the movie was push the move the platform.
yeah.
Speaking of that, I told you earlier that Mr. Hanson, there's a photo of him on Lex Luthor's desk in the scene where
Yeah.
Superman bursts down the door and goes, "Where's my dog?" There's a framed photo of Mr. Handsome on Lex Luthor's desk. It reminds me of the
Yeah.
Wolverine memes, the photographs.
Where he caresses it.
Yeah, so
Do you think he does that in his off time?
yeah, no, for sure, dude. Um,
He kicks out his dumb girlfriend out of the room. He's like, "Leave me alone. I have to do
yeah,
business." And he's like, "Okay." And he has like a little secret compartment where he's just like, "Mr. Handsome, I miss you."
Nice.
You think he feels it?
Yeah, I think so.
Like when he caresses the photo,
Oh yeah,
he's like, "My baby."
yeah, for sure. Um, but let's get back to talking specifically about the movie because that's what people who are listening are here to listen to. Um,
Yeah.
just overall strengths and weaknesses. Uh, just what do you think? I'll tell you what I think, but I'll let you speak versus the
Um.
Superman guy.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I am the titular Superman guy. Um, I thought I couldn't really find any problems. There are like a couple things that bug me a little bit, but like they're like really small complaints that I'll get to in a little bit. But like positive wise, everything was basically perfect. The music choice, the character of Superman was awesome. Lois Lane was awesome. Lex Luthor was hilarious. I love him so much.
Yeah, he was good.
Like he was a man fueled entirely by rage, and I absolutely love that. That he caused a war to happen. He caused that war
Hmm.
just so he can get the excuse to kill Superman. And with the whole like that 1A scene, I
Yeah.
was like vibrating in my seat. I thought that was so funny.
One A, one A, one A. Yeah, I think
1A. Like
Lex.
he got I think what also
You keep going. You got it.
okay,
You
thanks.
got it.
I think what also got me was just him getting legitimately emotional about why he hates Superman to the point where he starts crying I think that'll go down in like
Yeah,
history as like my favorite one of my favorite
I
moments because
actually
like
felt bad.
it's so yeah, because like on one hand it's stupid that he like this, but on the other hand you kind of understand where he's coming from like just a little bit, but not because like he's legitimately right, but you can see how he rationalizes it.
Hmm.
Like he even admits just like, yeah, I'm envious, I'm greedy, like it's like, yeah, I'm bad, so what?
Yeah, I think one thing everyone can agree on whether Man of Steel is your favorite movie of all time, whether Batman v Superman is your favorite movie of all time, or whether this movie is your favorite, that this Lex Luthor is an upgrade. I think everyone can
Oh
agree
yeah,
on
I
that.
don't think
I don't think a single
I've seen
person.
people still say that like I think I still hear people say that like Henry Cavill is a better Superman than David Cornsweet. I have not heard a single person say
Yeah,
otherwise for Nicholas Holt's Lex
I
Luthor. Like that's just perfect. He
yeah
he is Lex Luthor.
I
Like
whenever I see these negative reviews and someone just, I can understand why if you're a big fan of the Snyder Superman, why you dislike this film. But the second you come after Lex in this film, and if someone tries to throw the words not comic accurate or not as accurate, just shut your mouth. Um, I know the movie wasn't 100% comic accurate, but James Gunn isn't known for being comic accurate. Um, so this was like a big improvement in accuracy for him for sure. But
yeah, I don't watch comic book movies
yeah,
because they're comic book accurate. I watch them because they're fun. Like if
exactly.
got mad every single time something was like not comic book accurate, and I go back to watch Guardians of the Galaxy, like that
Yeah, oh,
trilogy, I think I might have a heart
yeah,
attack.
you'd be,
Like, there's so many things in that movie that aren't really comic accurate, but because that movie was so popular, it became comic book accurate.
oh yeah, no, it literally is creating its own reality, just kind of like Iron Man did. I mean, look at Iron Man in the MCU versus the comics. Like,
That's true, yeah.
uh, a different character in some ways, for sure. Um, But back to Superman. Yeah, I thought Lex Luthor was honestly he might have been my favorite character in this movie.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed him. And I watched a podcast. Shout out to Lanterns Cast, are my favorite podcast that I listen to. They do Green Lantern podcasts. They were talking about the toys, and they were just talking about that one of the members of their podcast went around all these stores looking for the toys, and he found plenty of Superman, but the second most he found were Mr. Terrific. And that made me super curious going into this movie. Why are there so many Mr. Terrific toys? Because in these toy distributions, that's how they kind of work. Is each box like will come with like three Supermans, and if six came in a box, the other three would be kind of random, you know.
Right.
So I was like, why are there so many Mr. Terrifics? And I can say Mr. Terrific stole every single scene he was in. Uh, I
Yeah.
knew who he was, but I wasn't like super familiar with his game. I mean, I read the Justice League comics, and he's in them, especially in the recent ones. And I know he has his series out right now, but I don't really feel like picking it up. Uh, I don't know if you've picked that up, the Mr. Terrific series.
I have not.
Yeah,
I'm broke.
yeah, no. I have to limit my choices here on what I pick up. With so much
Y-
good stuff going on in the comic book world. But Mr. Terrific stole
Yeah.
the show. I mean, like I he felt like a smart character, and I can go on and on about Ironheart and genius characters, but like my biggest complaint in Ironheart was she did not feel like a genius in decisions, but with Mr. Terrific, I felt every decision he made was smart and educated, and he actually acted like a genius. Like in his fight scene, it's
Yeah.
literal genius. He conserves his energy as much as possible, doing as little as he can in order to conserve energy and fight in the most optimal way possible that he sees in his brain. It's just cool to see an actual genius go to work like a genius.
Yeah.
Uh,
It kind of makes me very hopeful for what they're gonna do with Batman. Because if that's
yes,
how Mr. Terrific moves, like I am very curious on what they're gonna do with
it's
Batman.
me too, man. And Batman has me the most worried because Gunn has publicly said that he's struggling with this Batman. So,
Yeah.
and
I mean that's fair.
if it
Like
is
that's a
Robert
fair.
Pattinson, I will eat a shoe. People genuinely think it is Robert Pattinson. I do not think it is
Yeah.
at all.
I wouldn't mind if it's
I
Robert
wouldn't mind
Pattinson
it.
because I do see the vision
Yeah,
because like they're like similar age, like they fit each other really well. But that's just like the Batman Superman dynamic usually.
yeah,
Like if you put like any Batman Superman character together, most likely they'll fit because they're kind of meant to be like the same but opposite, like
yeah.
part of the same coin but different
I
sides.
mean, I wouldn't mind it, but I do not think that it is going to be him at all.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I do like that it is separate, like the Matt Reeves
yes,
Batman universe from the current DCU universe.
totally.
But like, I still wouldn't mind if Robert Pattinson was in. I would prefer if it was a different character, different actor. I mean,
Yeah,
to play
sure.
Batman and just have that be a different guy. Mainly because I heard that this Batman movie that's coming out is the one that's currently in production, not Matt Reeves's Batman, the DC one,
Yeah.
DCU universe one. He's going to be adapting the Damian Wayne
Hmm.
storyline where when he gets introduced, and knowing how young that version of Batman is very concerning because
Yeah.
if that's true, because like canonically, like Batman in this is like what like early to mid 20-year-old, like
He's
or like at least like middle, like he's at
doing
least like
doing interesting
at
things with
least above
ages.
25.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we don't. I don't really know until he introduces because, as you can see, the Green Lanterns are old as hell. Uh, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very
Hal
interesting.
Jordan is like
Didn't they say
in the set images.
mid 40s or something? Like how it's
Yeah, like
old.
in the set images, like you can see that he's pretty old.
Yeah. Stewart looks younger. Uh, which
But that makes sense.
I mean,
It
yeah,
comes off as like a like when I heard that Lanterns is gonna be like kind of like a detective show. Like it made me like think like, oh, so like Hal Jordan's probably gonna be like the seasoned cop, while Jon Stewart's gonna take more of like the protagonist role, who's more of like a rookie.
Yeah. No,
Like that's kind of what
that's
I'm
gonna
like
be mine. Yes.
imagining.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see when the first
Back to
trailer comes out.
Superman.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Back to Superman.
Back to Superman. Yes. So
Yeah. Speaking of Matt Reeves's Batman, actually, we were talking about this like off screen, but I was saying that I do think that this movie is at least on par with the Batman from 2022,
I
and you disagree.
I do disagree. I think this movie is great. I think The Batman is a perfect movie, and I do not think Superman is a perfect movie. Um, and just I don't remember when exactly The Batman came out, but for me personally in my life, it came out while I was going through a lot, and I feel like we may have been in a drought from good superhero movies. I don't necessarily, I cannot fact check that,
Yeah,
but it felt like it was the first good super because Thunderbolts was great, and then Superman came out after Thunderbolts. So like, it's not like we're on a drought right now. Superhero movies have actually been pretty good recently. Um, so can't really complain about that. I will. Superman was way better than Thunderbolts. I just Thunderbolts was still a
right.
solid movie. Um,
Yeah, we might talk about that like soon. Like if we ever talk about like Marvel, we might talk about that.
yeah, I
But
mean, we'll talk about Fantastic Four. That comes out in like 2 weeks. So
yeah,
I
but yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But I personally think that it's on par at least. I originally said it was better, but like after like consideration, it's probably just on par. Like for me, like I do really love Matt Reeves' Batman, but like I felt like I think I talked about this with you like the other day. That it felt like something shifted like after I like watched because like with the Batman, like you walked out of the theater like yeah, you were excited like wow, that was a really good movie, but like that was kind of it. You know, like you don't need to be convinced that Batman is cool. Everyone like objectively thinks Batman is cool. For years, Superman has always kind of been the butt end of a joke. Like recently on TikTok, like it has gotten like a resurgence,
Mhm.
but like a lot of people still considered Superman to be boring. Like there were always like arguments, mainly because like movie wise, everyone either treated him as like a big boy I'm like mixing up my words here, like big blue boy scout or emotionless god who sees humanity as beneath him, therefore he needs to protect them. Like Superman has always been in movies a boring character that doesn't really emote that well and just is not that interesting. Like either his Clark is too meek and whatever, or he's just way too serious, or like he just doesn't care about human life.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Man of Steel Superman. But like after watching this movie, like it felt like something actually like shifted. Like people were legitimately like considering this movie. Like I remember like walking out of the movie theater, hearing like a group of friends like talking and say how good the movie was. And like someone like perked up being like, you know what guys, I think I get it. And I think that's when I realized that this movie is really important now. Like I do feel like after this movie is come out, Marvel is going to take notice. Definitely. I feel
Mhm.
like.
I mean, just Marvel with the history of James Gunn, and I'm pretty sure officially James Gunn is the most successful superhero guy now. I'm pretty sure.
He is, yeah.
Yeah,
I saw that.
and
He
knowing that they let that go, and I mean, I think even if James Gunn didn't get fired, I think he would have still left to pursue this opportunity. Because being told you have the opportunity to create a whole universe of your own, I mean, come on, who's not going to take
yeah.
that? So
Honestly, I think we all have to thank that one guy who dug in like in like his old
Hmm.
Twitter history to find offensive jokes that James Gunn has made back in like
Yeah,
2013.
I mean,
We all have to we owe that guy an apology
yeah,
because if it wasn't for him,
for sure. I mean, James Gunn,
isn't that crazy?
that is
That,
crazy.
that's true butterfly.
Yeah,
That's like the butterfly
I mean,
effect, like
Gunn
fully
said it
in
himself.
action.
I'm pretty sure that Marvel, especially in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, was limiting certain things he could do. Oh no, it was in the second one they forced him to reveal Adam Warlock. He didn't want to. He
Yeah,
didn't want to do that. For those who don't know, because as he stated, if you saw the post-credit scene of Superman, James Gunn does not believe in revealing things in post-credit scenes. Uh, but yeah, Marvel was like, no, you gotta do it. And I think James Gunn now can finally like use his ideas and fully implement them into his movies. And anyone who's saying that this is just Guardians of the Galaxy reskinned and it's the same, no, it's not. Okay. The needle drop scene was the most similar thing to Guardians of the Galaxy. If Batman comes out feeling like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie or feels like a Superman movie, then you can complain. But Superman's supposed to be more of that tone, uh, in a way.
like
Yeah,
lighthearted,
lighthearted.
like
If let's see, what's a project? If Clay, no, he's not directly in charge of Clayface. The next thing is Supergirl, right? That he's directly in charge of. Uh,
I don't think he's directing Supergirl. I don't know what he's directing
yeah, I think
next.
it might be that.
Uh,
Is he directing Lanterns? Oh,
no, I actually don't know what he's directing next. I
actually,
know
I can
like
Google that.
Creature Commandos, I think, is the next project that's coming out that James Gunn is directing. And I know that, but
It's a good question. I'm gonna try to do some
yeah.
research, figure this out.
Yeah, I guess like in the meantime, I can keep going on what I
Yeah,
think.
no,
'Cause is Superman is at least on par with the Batman. Some characterization of Clark Kent has never been this good, like ever in a Superman movie. Like, don't be, finally watched through the first Superman movie by Christopher Reeves.
yeah,
Yeah, that's his name.
yep,
Um, to like, because a lot of people called it the best Superman movie.
hmm,
And for a while, like, I was like, "Okay, yeah, I can see that." But, like, after a little bit, like, again, it's Clark Kent is just so I get that he's mild-mannered, but there's a difference between, like, mild-mannered and, like, meek and just, like, very just not that interesting. Because like, it doesn't really
yeah.
make much sense, because like, Clark Kent grew up on a farm. So, like, why is he acting like a soy boy? Or, like have you seen that movie? I guess I don't know if
Which movie?
this will make sense. The Christopher
I have not
Reeves,
seen Christopher
Superman one
Reeve's
that came out
movie.
in, like
I
don't
have,
get me wrong, I do think it's a good movie. I enjoyed it, thoroughly, especially when he's Superman. Like, I do think Christopher Reeve's Superman is the second best Superman after David Cornsweet. But his Clark Kent was always bothered me because, like, because as I said, there's a difference between like being mild mannered and like kind of quiet to like full on like zoinks, ugh, like actual coward.
yeah,
Like that's kind of what it felt like watching that movie. Like if you watched it, then you'll get it. But
I watch it.
David Cornsweet's Clark Kent like actually felt real, like a real person.
Yeah,
I think that was my complaint about
I
Christopher
think.
Reeves is that like his Clark Kent didn't feel like a real person or like at least like someone who's likable.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think I like this character, but I don't think we saw enough of him. Um, I think there was a big focus on him at the beginning. It actually kind of the rest of the movie. There's not much Clark other than the scene where the Justice Gang is fighting the space and Lois.
Yeah.
But
And and when he's like back home, but like when he's like back home, like I feel like we're able
I
to
thought
actually see.
that might have been the strongest part of the movie for me. I cried a little bit during the podcast speech. It's just a.
Oh yeah.
It felt like a real moment, you know.
Yeah, that's another
Yeah.
thing that I really like is I've talked about this with you a lot of times, but personally, I think the most important thing to get for a Superman movie is the parents.
Hmm.
It's like similar to like it's similar to like Uncle Ben, you know? Like if Uncle or at least like Aunt May, like if you can't get at least like one of those characters right, then the character's gonna come out like really weird.
Yeah.
Like for Man of Steel, like, as much as I clown on it, I like, realistically, it probably is because of Pa Kent is it was because of Pa Kent is the reason why, Zack Snyder Clark Kent is like that.
Hmm.
Because, like, in the very beginning, when, like, Clark, at a very young age, saves, like, a bus full of children from drowning, he says to his face that he should have let those children die to keep his identity.
Yeah.
He dies in a, like, very avoidable way that, like, makes the whole thing so confusing
Just as
because, like
controversial as Darwin's death in X Men.
exactly! Like, it was so avoidable.
Oh yeah.
Like, "Do not save me, my super son. We must keep your identity a secret, for these people are not ready for you." But, like, he can move faster than a speeding bullet.
Yeah. He.
Like, I'm sure everyone is not looking at, like, Paul Ken right now. Like, I'm sure, like, their attention is focused on not dying.
Yeah. I know.
So, like
Yeah. And he doesn't care about his identity being secret in the new movie in Superman. I swear the whole entire Daily Planet is onto him about that. Uh, but
Uh, I did kind of like the fact that they were like actual journalists because and like actually that was like a like integral plot point in the movie
mhm,
because like a lot of people kind of forget that like journalism actually is kind of really important to Clark's character
yes.
and like especially like in this world it shows how useful good journalism actually is and like I think that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Like Clark, because what gets uh Lex into prison, what wasn't like Superman carrying him to prison for them to be like, "Thank you, Superman," you know? Because that's what happened to the Christopher Reeves Superman.
Hmm.
That like that's what happened. It's actually because of the Daily Planet gang and like Lois Lane posting an article revealing how bad of a man Lex is, and I kind of liked that that like yeah sure like Superman did defeat Lex but it was good journalism that actually put him behind bars like that was like a good message
No. Yeah.
like there's a lot of like subtle stuff in this movie that I really like and I also like it's another thing why I think this movie is at least on par with the Batman is because like there's so many like hidden details and like themes that you don't find in other movies or at least like other superhero movies
Yeah.
like if you watch like Captain America Brave New World and try to analyze it from like a political or like a narrative standpoint, there's really nothing there. Like I'm sure you'll find like a couple things, but those are like it feels not as intentional and more
I
like
mean,
you're just looking into it.
there's some of the political stuff with Isaiah Bradley and all that.
Yeah, but like they're like but they don't really do that much with it. Isaiah Bradley isn't really in the movie that
Yeah.
much.
He's.
To the point where like you can take him out of the movie and like just replace him with like a random standby and the story would be the same.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of like the thing. Cuz like it feels like no matter what Captain America would look into like the almost assassination of the president, especially if he was right there. Like even if Bradley wasn't there or not.
Yeah. For sure.
So like here though there are like so many like subtle themes to like real world problems, like especially what's happening like Israel right now,
Yeah. It was there for
and
sure.
like what's happened, and like in the movie with like Bavaria and like that other country,
Yeah.
like it feels very like very much intentional instead of like you look into it like no like this actually feels like a real world like problem that they put in the movie
Yeah. It for sure does.
and I appreciated that.
no, it was a bold move that a lot of people weren't really expecting them to take. And as you see on the internet, people thought it would directly affect the sales and its success, but it has not at
Yeah.
all statistically. So, which is
Yeah.
funny.
Honestly, I think it makes the movie like more interesting. I think that's the one thing that people don't understand is that I feel like the more political the movie is, like the more it's going to get people interested.
Yeah,
Like if it's just like a boring movie that like doesn't really touch on like anything. Like I'm not saying like every movie has to be political or like stuff like that. Like if there's like actual intent to like put stuff in there like that, the movie is going to be more interesting than like surface level thoughts, like with how most MCU movies are nowadays.
yeah, no, for sure. And in the end, the movie was just about doing the right thing and being good, which is something that's not easy to come by in today's world, honestly. Uh,
Yeah.
that message of just
Yeah, most people like anti-heroes.
yeah, no, the message of just being good and wanting to help other people is not something that is portrayed as much anymore, which is kind of weird,
Yeah.
but
It's very punk rock,
very
as the
punky.
movie says.
Yes, very punky. Um, but it's not. What I also appreciate is you feel like when you watch a Marvel movie, it's always setting up something else. Um, Superman, it didn't really feel like that. It felt like its own thing, and I don't mind that. I really, I mean, it
Yeah,
establishes the universe more, but any movie in universe will establish the universe more. That's how it works. It's in universe. It's going to establish the
indeed.
universe more. Like we haven't seen Metropolis yet. It's going to establish Metropolis. Like, it's just how a movie works.
You
But
mean Gotham? Or
no, we hadn't seen in this James Gunn's DC universe. We hadn't seen Metropolis yet, until Superman.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I thought like
No, I was saying we
I was a
haven't
little
been there.
confused with that.
Which is funny because when people were escaping, they were escaping to Gotham. And I thought that
Yeah.
was hilarious because imagine going from
But here's the thing, though. Gotham is objectively safer than Metropolis, and I will stand on that.
oh, that we could save that debate for another day. So I feel like we could have
Yeah,
that one for a while.
yeah, yeah. I convinced my dad this. A little off topic here, folks, but I had a conversation with my dad when because I watched the Christopher Reeve movie with him,
Mhm.
and I was talking about it with him, and how like Metropolis is so much more dangerous than Gotham. And he looked at me, and was just like, "Are you kidding me? It's a hole." I'm just like, "Yeah." But Gotham has like regular villains. Like the Joker, yeah, he's like manic and like psychotic, but like he could be stopped by any kind of firearm. Like a 12 gauge will definitely like like shoot his head off. Like that's like he's easy to deal with in that kind of context. Like Superman though, he deals with like godlike level threat. Like today, not today, but like in the movie, like Metropolis is splitting open and underneath a black hole is forming. Like
Yeah, I'd stop that.
you are never going to deal with that kind of
I
that you
got
are
my
never going to
seatbelt
deal with that
on.
kind of stress.
I got my
Like you are
seatbelt
never
on,
going to deal with
man.
that kind of stress in Gotham.
Yeah,
Like at worst, like maybe Bane, like at worst Bane is probably the scariest thing on the street.
yeah, I'm straight.
Like
Man.
in Metropolis, you got to deal with like Dark Side, that like interdimensional imp, that giant kaiju. Like there's so many
Yeah,
things that like
the
could
worst thing that
ruin
is
your
in
day.
Gotham is fear toxin or the Joker uh, thing on like a large scale. The Joker virus or whatever it's
Yeah,
called. I don't know.
yeah. But like those are like one in a million like events. You
Yeah.
know, like like that's probably not gonna happen again, except for like the fear toxin maybe. But like like that's probably not gonna happen again.
Plus, you got Batman. I mean,
True, exact, and like the entire Bat family. There's
true.
like
Yeah,
18 other Batmen.
the Bat family is established in this universe, to our knowledge. Um,
That is true, yeah. So we already have, like, Nightwing. I do hope that Jason Todd actually doesn't, like, or, like, at least Red Hood isn't in the universe yet, because I think that'd be, like, a cool plot, or, like, maybe, like, a cool sequel to, like, the other Batman
Yeah,
movie.
no, it would
Like,
be.
maybe, like, after, like, because I feel like that'd be kinda cool.
No, yeah. Okay, but back to we keep going off of Superman to talk about. We're just excited. We're we're just excited for the future.
Well, we are enthusiastic.
Um, fight scene wise, so I felt like low key the weakest part of this movie was probably the fight scenes. Um,
Personally,
I thought they were
I
good,
don't think that.
but I thought if something had to be the weakest, it would be the fights. I thought the Mr. Terrific fight was the best one in the entire film. Uh, by far, it's not even close. Yeah, and second, it's when Superman was in the stadium fighting Engineer and Ultraman. Uh,
Yeah,
and third is probably Superman when he's fighting the Vultures. Yeah. But
yeah,
like
like, that
not
whole,
that the,
like, the music,
not that the
like,
fights were
playing.
bad, but I just felt like a few of them. I understand it's Superman's first time losing in 3 years, but I wanted more moments of like Superman being strong. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's fair. Well, I mean,
Superman,
like, yeah, I
I
do
know
feel like we
why
actually
he's
have that.
getting folded. Like he's fighting a clone of himself with a genius operating it. Like yes, it makes sense that he's losing. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I just wish we got a few more moments of Superman feeling like a super strong Superman. I mean, and we got that in when he fought the Vultures. You know, he
Yeah.
absolutely shredded them. Oh, and my favorite thing was how his eyes got like that. I remember seeing all the Snyder fans like hitting and be like, "Oh, Superman can't even handle like shooting lasers from his eyes." But in reality, he got
No,
he
it's
got
just
lasered
that
in the face by Ultraman.
Ultraman,
Yeah,
and I'd say he took that well.
no, yeah.
Like,
I thought that was funny because that's like one of the things I saw a lot of people hating on was no his lasers leave mark on his eyes when in reality is Ultraman laser. Um, but you know, I also this is gonna be the most controversial opinion I put out there. I thought Crypto was in the movie too much. I did not that I hated Crypto. I just felt like I could have used a little less Crypto. Uh, for those who don't know, I have a little miniature poodle. It's the devil, and Crypto was a little too real. Crypto was a little too close to that. Oh,
it was too relatable.
yeah, too relatable. So, not that I didn't like Crypto. I liked Crypto. Uh, yeah, that's my main complaint was a little too much Crypto, which is a really small
Yeah.
complaint. And my small complaints about the fight scenes too. Like that's yeah.
I do.
Sorry. I got one more thing before I forget.
That's
I
okay. Yeah.
thought the fight scenes were really focused on making Superman seem heroic because of the lost. We haven't seen that in a long, long time of Superman saving people. So
Yeah.
I feel like James Gunn was really focused on establishing Superman as a character, which is something crazy to say. Like establishing an accurate Superman to the point where he went out of his way in some of the fight scenes instead of having. I do think Superman will have a moment where we see him do crazy feats of strength, and I think that'll probably come in the Justice League movie where we just start seeing Superman go crazy. With I'm assuming a space battle because we're totally getting one eventually.
Probably.
There's a space battle in
I do
every
wonder
DC
how.
arc, so
I do wonder how they're gonna do Dark Side. That's like one thing.
I mean,
And, like,
yeah.
I do hope that they don't treat him like a Thanos. You know what I mean?
I think DC's
Like,
gonna
I
treat their
kinda.
villains like comic book villains and not do what Marvel did, where the villain has to be defeated. You can just
Yeah,
prevent the villain from doing whatever it is they're trying to do. Because Lex, yeah, he got beat,
yeah.
but Lex isn't defeated. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lex is
Yeah,
plotting
like
right now. Like in that universe, Lex is thinking of he's definitely gonna break out of prison or something, and he's definitely gonna come back
yeah,
even more evil, which is crazy to think of. But you know,
yeah, especially with how he acted in this
yeah.
movie. 1A, 1A,
And what a
1A.
which which is fucking he
I love that
remember
scene
all
so
these
much.
commands. Bizarro's supposed to be an idiot. Why can't he remember all the commands and exactly what they do? I sorry, not Bizarro. Ultra. He's totally becoming Bizarro. I would put money down on it.
Yeah, that was another thing that I wanted to mention
Yeah,
when you said that this movie doesn't really do much setup. I think what it does is subtly set up. Like if you like look in like the details and actually start to think about it, like there's a lot of moments where like oh wait a minute, this actually sets up actually a lot of stuff. Like for example, like in the Hall of Justice, like we can see past like JSA members,
yeah.
like Wildcat, Jay Garrick, like stuff like characters like that.
Hmm.
And I thought like, "Oh, that's a cool way of, like, setting up the JSA," and that, like yeah, and, like, setting up that there are other characters that already existed in this universe. And, like, again, with, like, the Bizarro thing, like, I do think that that's probably the most setup thing that's probably gonna happen, is him definitely coming back. Like, I
Yeah.
could totally see James Gunn looking at that moment and being like, the black hole acted more like a teleporter to another world that is now called Bizarro.
Hmm.
Like, I definitely do see that definitely happening. Like, I think that was, like, the most, like, setup thing, besides, like, the Supergirl thing. And that also leads into another point that I had, which is, like, one of my little critiques, that I kinda wished Supergirl wasn't established, or at least, like, well known to Superman. Like, the way I would've kinda wanted it would be, like, Supergirl just landed, and he's like, "Holy crap, I'm not the only one," you know?
Yeah.
And I thought it was gonna go in that direction, because like, then, like, him being so protective of Crypto would make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Like, the reason why, because I remember seeing a lot of people being like, "Bro, why does he care so much about the dog?" Like, in that one scene. And, like, when I thought about it, it was just like, well, because, like, Crypto is, like, the last remnant of Krypton. Like, besides from, like, the old technology, he's the very last thing that that's alive that came from Krypton, because that's how it
Okay.
is in the comics. Because Crypto is a Kryptonian dog. So, and I thought that was going to be like the angle where he was like, yeah, I may not like this dog, but he's pretty much the only thing I have to like that part of my identity. And I thought that was going to be the thing. And then with Supergirl landing, he'd be like, holy crap, I'm not the only one. And I thought that's how the movie's going to
Yeah.
end. Like, I still don't mind it. Like, Party Girl Supergirl is probably gonna be really funny, and I am excited for that movie.
Yeah.
Like, I do think that makes sense. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with the scene. I just kind of thought it would go in a different direction.
Yeah. No. And that's a point I really haven't thought of yet. In fact, I felt almost nothing when Supergirl appeared on the screen. I'm not gonna lie, but it seems like James Gunn is trying to prevent having to be like to make setup movies. You know what I mean? Like he's
Yeah.
been very public about like not really wanting to do character backstories over and over. Um, so I think he's trying to skip all that like, oh, this just happened. I need to make a whole movie setting this up or a whole show and just have these own its own like events. And in doing that in an already established universe, it would probably be a little easier. Um, not that I can read James Gunn's mind, but that's my guess. Is he trying to get a lot of these things established already so he can easily like push
Mhm.
things forward? That's just a guess of mine. But we really don't know. I mean, we're quite literally one film into it, because the Suicide Squad is partially canon, Peacemaker is partially canon. And then the only other fully canon thing is Creature Commandos, uh, which gets me curious. are we ever going to see like every single thing cross over? Uh, like, are we ever gonna see the
Yeah,
Creature Commandos and Superman at the same time? Are we ever gonna see Peacemaker, the Creature Commandos, and Superman in the same place? Like, it
I
makes
think
me
so.
curious.
Like
It
I think
makes
that
me very
makes
curious about that because like a Justice League movie, yeah, throwing Peacemaker and the Creature Commandos in there randomly, I just don't know how to do that. You know? So
I just had a very funny thought that I think it would be hilarious if James Gunn put Peacemaker in the Justice League team.
yeah,
I think that would be legendary.
it would be hilarious, wouldn't it?
Like, but I think it would make sense. Unironically,
Those
I think that'd be really
interactions
funny to
would be
do.
so good. Imagine
Yeah,
Aquaman
like like
And Peacemaker interacting. Oh my goodness. No, I think
like imagine like I can already imagine like Peacemaker like coming up to Superman and just being like, "So, where'd you run to poop?" He's like, "What?"
yeah. I think that
Also,
in season 2 of Peacemaker, this is my personal theory. I think he's gonna get beaten up by a hero, whether it be Green Lantern or
yeah,
somebody. I think he's gonna get beaten up by somebody, which would be pretty funny.
yeah,
And Creature Commandos, I mean, it had Circe's vision. That's something we can talk about a little bit. This whole Superman thing. Um, well, what does that intend for the DC universe as a whole? Uh, if that vision is even accurate, as you said, it's just there's a lot of exciting things that Superman could potentially lead to. I just don't know. Um,
yeah. I don't know. The future of DC looks very bright,
yes, and
and that's pretty much
you saying that,
my take.
and I also said that we think that this is gonna make all superhero movies better in the future. This movie, I think,
Yeah,
redefined the genre of
yeah. I do think that in a couple years, like remember how like Batman, like when the Batman like that came out, everyone was like, "Yeah, it's pretty good," but like like that's all right, and that's about it. And like nowadays, there's like a lot of video essays describing how amazing the Batman actually is. I feel like this, like, though Superman, Superman is going to be getting the same treatment. Like, I feel like in a couple years from now, we are going to be getting videos, people dissecting this movie and telling us how actually important it is. How it's not just the beginning of a very promising DC universe, but just overall superhero movies in general.
yeah, for sure. I I I agree. We're gonna see all those video documentaries. Um, that's really all I got. I'm gonna title this Superman and the DC universe because we talk about both, but it's hard to just talk about Superman with how much this means for the DC universe. Oh,
Yeah, and as like two massive DC heads,
oh yeah, I mean, like
it's very hard to not diverge.
my split between DC and Marvel Comics is absurd. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I
Honestly, same.
it's
Yeah, I
not
think
yeah.
I definitely have more. You go.
It's not that I'm a Marvel hater. I just really can appreciate the DC storylines a lot more consistently. And DC's just easier to follow along with right now. Uh, Doom has just his event going on, which I am getting every issue, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. While with DC, it's just I need Justice League and Green Lantern, and I'm pretty much set. Dude. So it's interesting, but I don't really got
Yeah,
anything else to talk about. I mean, I really enjoyed Superman. I thought it was a great film. I thought it was one of the best acted
yeah,
superhero movies we've seen in a bit. Um,
yeah. He even saves a squirrel. How can you not like this movie?
Yeah, he did. He
Like
did save a
he goes
squirrel.
out of his way to save a squirrel.
Yeah, no,
Like
he
there's so
did.
many. We could go on and on
We
on
could.
how like amazing this movie is.
Yeah. Um, but not to switch the topic for the end here, but Noah and I are working on our own project called Luminance. That's why we're the Luminous Comics Cast. And we'll also be
Wow.
dropping some episodes, probably discussing story, honestly. We should probably do that and telling the stories of
Yeah,
our
yeah.
heroes being destroyed.
Let us know if you want to hear about that.
Yeah, let us
By the
know.
way,
And
yeah.
if you actually watch this, watch two dudes ramble about superheroes for, I think I've been recording for an hour at least.
Yeah.
Let me know. Uh, just not been an hour. I think it's been 40 minutes. So that's pretty good. And thanks
Yeah.
for watching, everyone. Now
Yeah.
I need to figure out where my channel is so I can stop it. And I can just do there it is.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Adios. Oh, I can just click stop.